How are y'all? Let's assume that the answer is good. Don't mind my shadow, but let her be a reminder to you to do your shadow work. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the person who ain't done it ever, who don't even know what I'm talking about. Go do it, whatever that means to you. Anyways, that was aggressive intro, I guess. Hi, how are you guys? Guys, I have a head cold. I just took some Benadryl to hopefully stop the leaking of my nose. But the topic for today is zooming in, just getting a little bit too close and detailed into parts of your drawing and then losing focus of other things in the piece, trying to focus on just one thing. So I'm here to talk about that because it used to fuck me up when I was a beginning artist, and I am going to tell you how I got over it. If I even really did get over it, because I feel like, and if you see dried up crust and snot around, no, you don't. But yes, I try to not do it. I have good habits to help me not do it, but that is, a very simple thing. I feel like that topic can be wrapped up in like 3 minutes. So what I'm gonna do instead is also talk about something kind of important. I'm going to be discussing some topics that have been interesting me lately, and they all have to do with women to some degree, which is interesting. And it all started with Bryony Claire. This is her. Okay, obviously she's in my subscribed list, but Bryony Claire is somebody that I will be reference, well, at least the things that she talks about I will reference. So I'm just showing you my citations right now. We also have, where is she? We have intellectual media as well, so I will be referring to some of the things that she's taught me as well, along with just existing in that role. So I am going to be dipping in and out of that, and you get to watch this video of me drawing this pampered girl. I don't even know that she's finished. Like, at the time of me recording this, she's not. So there's that. But yeah, I think zooming in can really mess up the drawing, because it's when artists get tunnel vision, when we totally zoom in on one aspect of the piece and kind of just start to ignore the rest. And then we'll have this incredibly detailed, like, tiny aspect, like this incredibly detailed watch or this incredibly detailed bag or something like that. And then, like, when you zoom out and actually see who's wearing that bag, or it's or whatever you got going on in your picture, you kind of just see that one aspect took up majority of your attention, which is very noticeable when you, as the artist, look at it, and then when your viewers look at it. And since I did get better with art school, I'm going to tell you what my teachers told me, which is keep rotating around the piece. Like, genuinely go in a circle around the piece. And I don't even know that I was taught that. I think that's just how I learned how to do it, because I don't remember them ever telling me that. But, like, continue. I know they said move around the piece, but, like, just moving around haphazardly doesn't help me. Like, I need to be going in a consistent rhythm, or whatever makes sense to you. Like, there are some people who are really practical, and we love a good practical artist, but some artists like to do it, how they get dressed. So, like, if they're making the OC, they start getting dressed with their shirt first, and then they do, like, their pants and then socks, where they go bottom first, top up, and then they draw it like that, because that's the easier rhythm for them. And so, like, you could apply that and say, I draw my character first, Starting with, I wouldn't say starting with the skeleton. Knowing the practical artist, they might start with the skeleton. But starting with the basis of like the head and the structure of what the figure's doing, and then moving up from there, and then like as you get to things where it's able to be more fun with detail, you do it in the order that you get dressed. I normally put on my accessories last, so it's harder for me to get zoomed in on my things like watches and earrings and things like that, because it is really easy to do that, because in nails, like back in the day I used to get really zoomed in on my nails on my characters, because you could make literally your own piece within a piece on some nails, and that also goes for like regular nails too. But yes, don't zoom in for that reason. So a good way to do that is to keep moving in circles. I move in a circle, so like I start with the head and then I go down, but if I'm doing an entire piece, it's like in a rotation, specifically with the background, because like more so with the body I just do like a up and down sweeping motion. And this may sound like absolutely insane to anybody who's like doesn't know what I'm talking about. Artists have to move across their piece in order for it to all look cohesive. If they focus on just one spot, naturally you won't have as much steam to make the rest of it look that way unless you take days apart, which is why it's good to get like an overall brush of things, kind of like how paintings are, where I think most painters know the damages of zooming in on a painting, because like you can end up getting really zoomed in, like it's really hard to zoom in on a painting. So like I feel like taking a lot of advice from them too. I guess it wasn't something that I could wrap up in 3 minutes, but yeah, I wanted to talk about that. I hope I even got it across good, you know. Drawing in a circle. I got something in my head over there. Drawing in a circle, and you know, keeping in a good consistent rhythm, and making sure like as much attention that you gave to that hand, this one needs them as much if it's in the frame, it needs as much attention as the other one. And yeah, I would say also what my teacher actually did tell me was to step the F back. Like the reason why artists get really zoomed in is because we're really into it, and that's amazing. But like, set a timer or whatever you have to do, whatever works good for your brain. I like timers. Whatever works good for your brain, try it, but figure out a way to take a break, and then figure out a way to like step back and look at your piece from at least 6 feet away. Like if you're working really fucking tiny, like there's no need for you to step 6 feet back, but like still step away from it. Like get a good far away view of it, not because like you're looking at what you want to change, but just because you're able to like see all the other pieces of the work that you're neglecting if you're zooming in, or like what you may want to revise or what you may want to add. So just stepping away and like giving your piece time to breathe, see if there's any second changes that you may want to make, is all important to help you not zoom in. So step back, give your work some air, and yeah, I would say keep a steady rotation of the piece, and also have a few different, I always say this, have a few different pieces going at once, so that you don't ever feel too locked into one, just like I have to get this piece done, and then that'll also make zooming in worse, because like you're only focused on this one piece, and so like of course you're going to be more focused on getting that one piece to be perfect. And so I just feel like if you have multiple things going, it's harder to zoom in and focus on just one. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, y'all. But no, I'm not. You wish me well wishes. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I was zooming in a little bit with the piece, the Pampered Girl. With the Pampered Girl, I was zooming in. in the window, there's a window, there's buildings, and I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of want to add plants on the window. I kind of want to add different kind of curtains and blinds. Like, it was getting bad. But yeah, that's that. Let me get into what I wanted to talk about, though. Girlies, how are we? Like, real talk. As a girly pop, it's definitely interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on my 5th and final day of my period, so I'm starting to glow again. Although this glow is being slightly diminished because of the head cold. But yeah, the video that she did recently, and I'm literally just going off of the thumbnail, so please do not quote the video or her. It's just the thumbnail. But I'm excited to watch it because this is something that I feel like I have a lot of knowledge on, being in that demographic. So yeah, the video is titled something along the lines of women not dating or something like that, women choosing to be single, and things along those lines. And so I took that as an opportunity to come out here and gauge and just talk about my experiences with that as a single woman, and by choice. And also, like, you know, I'm an introvert as fuck. I don't know, I'm like that exact incarnation of that meme where it's like, oh, what, my partner hasn't, like, my soulmate hasn't knocked on my door yet. It's never gonna happen. But it's just like, at the same time, you know, it's very interesting for people to continuously tie my worth to what I'm doing with or for someone else. And not just me. This is the case for all women, our grandmas, our ancestors that were women. Like, this is just the case in the modern world for women. Consistently having your worth being tied to your proximity to a man or motherhood drives me nuts. And the fact that motherhood can really only be achieved through some essence of a man, until science steps his game up, and I think it already has, actually. But yeah, like, it's really exhausting. I have people in my external life, you know, say very interesting things about women who choose not to date or choose not to have babies, especially in this climate. Like, as a little girl, I used to talk about this all the time. When I was a little kid, like, obviously I was a kid, so, like, take this with 18 million grams of salt. But I wanted so many children when I was a kid. I wanted my partner to be amazing and for me to just basically have 1,000 kids. Not literally 1,000, but like, I wanted it like at least 13. And the beautiful thing about it was, even when I was young, before I even knew about the processes and how awful it is to, like, go through as the kid and as the parents trying to adopt, I did want to foster, like, that 13 included children I was going to have and children that I was going to either adopt or take in from foster care. But this is also meaning that, like, at the time it was like, I'm going to have 6 and then I'm going to, like, adopt 7. And that was really intense for me because I had that dream because I was always having the mindset of, like, I'm going to be opulent enough and, like, wealthy enough to maintain that and, like, send them off and help them get, like, a stable foundation and, you know, whatever, like, with money and, like, a good governmental system to raise them in a good city, yada yada yada, all the things that we dream of for our children. And of course, we're never going to have our children in optimum conditions. I don't think there's ever been a time in the world where it's been a good time to have kids. But even with the lack of mushroom clouds, the the resurgence of internment camps, unfortunately, and all the other hullabaloo that is happening in spheres that I am not in, it just seems to every ism, every Lee, so like financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, it just doesn't seem, well, I feel like physically is probably the only thing. Like, I feel like physically is probably the only thing, like, that will be okay. Because, like, outside of the fact that I smoke, I'm pretty relatively healthy. So, like, I could have a very healthy baby, but I want my baby to not grow up in the conditions that my grandma's grandma grew up in, basically, because it's technically the same. We just have phones now. We just have cars and we're able to drop ship. Like, there's nothing that really has changed, and that's just not the kind of world that I think. Like, I'm so bougie that I don't even want my precious, adorable children to come up into some bull like this. Especially not in this country. If I do have kids, I'm not having it in this country. And that is probably going to devastate, I don't know who, I don't really care. I just don't want to have them here. That's just that. So, if I do have them, it wouldn't be here, and I'm not looking forward to having them anytime soon, as I hear that the healthiest time for a woman to do it wouldn't even be in youth. It would be, in terms of getting all those leads financially, mentally, emotionally, it will be around 30. Especially if you're healthy. If you're like an unhealthy 30, I think we're very used to seeing unhealthy 30-year-olds and like basing all of our knowledge off of unhealthy 30-year-olds. If you stay healthy, which I plan on doing, you should be fine. And that goes for the man and the woman. If there's an unhealthy man and he's like got a bad lifestyle, his sperm can very well not work. But that's the baby part of it. And that's something that's it's crazy that I thought about having a baby first is somehow easier to talk about than having a partner. But if y'all didn't know, you know now I'm a bisexual woman, and so I definitely have, obviously people would assume that it's a lot of room to date and be in that world, but it's just not good right now. The dating scene is just not good right now, and I know because of the way that I think, I know from what I hear, I know from what I've seen, it's just not. And then like everybody wants it to be online. There's no normal, or at least way that feels good way for it to happen in person. And I don't go out enough for all of that. Like, I realize the weird ass energy that I get trying to like talk to people as a black woman. And I'm not saying like I don't have options. No. I see the options. It's just, and they see me. And it's very weird to deal with, because they'll be eyeing you. You'll see all the gears of like somebody getting the sensual or physical attraction, because obviously you can't be attracted to me emotionally. You don't know who the hell I am, but I can see all of that happening. But this goes for people within my race and outside of it. Like, there's this like hesitation that drives me mad, and it's like, we all hear that talk of like, oh, women should talk first and this, and it's like, well, I don't really care too much about that part of it. Like, whoever talks, but I just feel like it's very interesting because people have these preconceived notions about who, like, to the world, we are all the same, which terrifies me. Like, that genuinely terrifies me, that you can look at all these different black women, all millions and millions of them, and believe that they're all the same. Whereas most, I don't really care to group people together like that. And so it's very interesting for me as a person who don't really carry these discriminatory, weird shits in me or around me. Like, I'm pretty good as a citizen. Like, I don't treat people weird. Like, and I feel like also, and that's probably what, that's the black woman part of it. That's probably less than 1% of the issue, and that's the realest shit I've ever said. Like, I know that there's so many people who get so fucking excited hearing like a person, a brown woman, talk about how difficult it is to date. Like, it's not, if anything, I feel like it's irritating because they all want the same thing from women, right? It's just that they'll take the time to get to know women of lighter complexions to ultimately do the same thing, whereas from darker women, they kind of just like, hey, let's just bone, let's just go to the bed. Like, and it's like, who's going for that? Like, that's why you have to dress it up and make it look good for other women, because they're not going for that. So why do you think that we're going for that? And do you think that just because you see more melanin that we should just go for whatever little piece of meat flaps in front of us? Fuck off. Like, I think that's very weird and rude, and I've dealt with people with that type of energy, and I'm very big on reading energy, and I can tell a sexual deviant when I see one. Like, that is somebody who is just like wanting to rush things, and I deal with that a lot, and women deal with that a lot. This is not like a racial thing either. Like, it's very annoying, but what women in relationships end up realizing is that the whole time that they just wanted to get quickly to that scenario just so that they can, like, you know, have a built-in F buddy. I feel like, you know, I just haven't met anybody who's been like this like top tier stellar guy. You know, everything that women do, everything that women say gets immediately demonized and scrutinized. Everything we do, and it comes from, and there's shots within the group. There are people shooting within the group, and there's shots being thrown at the group. And so like it's a horrible thing. Like, you can't say you're a girl's girl because those girls lie about being girls so often that you don't even know what the heck a girl is. Or, you know, you're dealing with somebody who kind of also bases a lot of their worth on their proximity to men. Like, as a woman who doesn't do that, or proximity to love or anything like that, it just kind of confuses me. Like, I don't have the same drive or desire to seek validation from others in any way, shape, or fucking form. Like, I just don't. So it's just kind of interesting to navigate for sure, because like, it's not that I never want to fall in love, I just am not looking for it now, because one, I'm always in the house, and plus like I have a very jaded energy going into it, so what am I going to find, more jaded people? No. Like, I need to refresh how I feel about it, maybe get the hell out of this country to experience like another way. And I know that there's people who are like thinking only with their genitalia all around the world, but like, I hope that there's at least 10 of us on this planet that are normal enough to actually, like, and this isn't like a demisexual thing, like, I just want to run into some cool folks, you know, in order to want to have kids and think about a future with this person. And so, whereas it was very easy for my grandma and people back in the day, because one, it was kind of required. It was a social status for both men and women to be in a relationship, and also it was just easier then. There was less pressure put on from external shit like social media and the bull. So I want to wrap this up though. I'll probably go into this, probably not. I really think that this topic is interesting, so maybe I'll watch the video and come back with new knowledge. Ooh, sorry, shaking. And get it out that way. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed watching that. watching me talk smack. I kind of want to get this up on the 5th. So what I'm gonna do is, if I don't ever show you the drawing of the Pampered Girl, you'll just see maybe Fruit Girls, maybe the newest Fruit Girls, because I had a lot of fun drawing the grapes, can't lie, and whatever else I've been doing. So you'll see something. Bye.